Well, local assembly elections are on. We are voting today, and ballots are out. People are to vote for our assembly members and our unit committee members. And voting is your civic duty. And the NCCE has been on a campaign to educate people on the need to be part of the process. Kathleen Addy is the, I'm not sure the name, chairperson of the NCCE. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you doing?
By grace, we soldier on.
Man, nice one. So today's a big day for all of us.
It is. It is.
You've been up and about preaching the gospel of voting.
Yes. Voting at the local, because almost nobody needs encouragement to go and vote in the main elections, the major elections, the presidential and parliamentary elections.
Yes.
So everybody needs a little bit of a pep talk and some encouragement and some pampering to go and vote at the local elections.
Yeah. Why has that been the case for this long? Why are people not interested in?
Oh, but there are so many reasons for that.
Yeah.
I was speaking to the gentleman out there. Yeah. There are so many reasons for that. First of all, people really don't understand the local government system.
Yeah.
And then that's the first broad thing. And then secondly, the local government system does not really deliver. It's not really delivering for people. So there's that as well. We have to be honest to the fact. People don't understand how it works because they don't understand that your assemblyman actually is the assembly, not the assemblyman. The assembly holds your share of the public purse. Your national cake, your slice of the national
it's
cake.
In the assembly.
It's in the assembly, right? But I think that because people don't elect the heads of the MCs, the MMDCs situation, so they don't feel like a link. The way the link they feel with MPs, for instance, they don't feel that link with the MMDC. So you can see that people really hold the MPs accountable, and they put pressure on them to deliver some things for them, right? But
Go ahead.
they put pressure on them to deliver some things for them, So if the MMDC was elected, maybe it would be stronger. There'll be a stronger link. There'll be a stronger accountability relationship, and then that will make people that will motivate people to vote.
It's interesting you say.
Nonetheless,
Go ahead.
The assembly members and the unit committee members also play an important role in mobilizing public information, public support around issues, in mobilizing the public to identify what the community really needs to be able to take it to the assembly to be worked on. So it's not a perfect system, and that's part of it. And it's not a system that is working in all its bits and pieces properly together. That's also part of it. And that's why that's part of why there's such a low interest.
I was going to say that, incorporating what you said, during our voter campaign, as Sky will confirm this, every community we went to, it was assembly people who were organizing everybody, like the list of victims, their names, the number of points. I mean, the assembly people, and it's funny because most people, when they are displaced, started thinking of the assembly members.
Yes.
Initially, we thought it to be the MPs or the MCs, but because these are locals,
Exactly.
the assembly is actually more important than we think.
Yes. I always say that when you elect your MP, eventually they will come to work in Accra.
Yep.
They are going to their offices in Accra here. Your president also lives in the capital.
Yep.
Your assembly member lives with you. Your unit committee member lives with you. If we do the reforms needed to empower these people or these structures properly, I think that it will resonate so strongly with people because people need services, and people need services. They need a service, not really about the person. So if there was somebody who could deliver the service, they would really engage that person because they elect the MPs. They naturally feel that, well, we elected you, so deliver for us. And so that whole situation is also now warped because you have MPs who are supposed to be legislators who come under pressure
building
to
roads,
be development agents,
grading.
And because they are competing, when they go and campaign, then they'll be making promises that
they can't fulfill.
They can't, exactly. So the whole thing the local government reforms are important. I hope that we are able to do that, even as we encourage people to get more involved. For me, the other important bit is that I want more people to be interested in standing as assembly members. It's not really a paid job. So you need upstanding people of society who already have a job, who are interested in, supporting the community, those are the people that, tax-paying citizens, by the way. Those
Yeah.
are the people.
Let me
who should
ask,
be-
do you think that if we give them a little stipend, it will change the dynamic at all? Or the fact that they are not paid makes it voluntary, so we actually get there? Because there's a view that if you get more quality people into the assembly, you're going to help the democracy because you're building it from the base. So if people who have a better sense of leadership get in there, then they can hold the MC accountable, the assembly is more effective, then they can work with the MP better. But it looks like we've forgotten about them. So I don't know what reform proposals you may have that can improve the quality of people who offer themselves.
I think that more people who, even middle class people who look down on these assembly and unit committee positions should be more interested. So I take a place like East Legon or another high-end neighborhood.
Yeah.
Where people build their $1 million homes and they put it there. Elsewhere, when you plant that $1 million on the ground, you are interested in what is happening and how the community is run.
Yeah.
You've built your $1 million home, and then your drains are
Are
not
not
working,
working.
your street light is not working.
Yeah.
Nothing is working. Your assemblyman is somebody who, or assembly member is somebody who, if you don't take care, cannot even, maybe does not even own a property there.
Yep.
So their interests are quite different from yours. I feel like more people should take more interest in these things. If Richard Sky is an assembly member, Richard Sky is a prominent member of society, pays his taxes, qualified by all,
Yeah.
and then when Richard Sky is the assembly member, don't you think that it will
He
work
will
well?
advocate more. He will be a good ambassador. He will do.
He has influence.
Yeah.
He has a network. He has influence. He
Yeah.
can pull resources.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
understand? Richard Sky already has a job, so the assembly will not be an income. Do you understand?
I get you.
It's not
So
for income.
actually, paying them may not be the solution.
It's not.
It's not
it
the
may
solution.
not necessarily be.
Yeah.
There are other things that can be done. There are other things that can be done.
But let me ask,
Get Richard.
how do we make, okay, because if we made, and I'm happy you're going this way, if we make the assemblies more visible and effective, then it attracts more people. So maybe it behoves on those who are there now to also do a bit more.
Yes.
Do you get it? So that if people can see that this thing actually works. For now, people don't vote because they don't see what the assembly person does for them. The other point is that, when it comes to traditional voting for the politicians, there's always this give me something to pay for you kind of thing. And I don't think the assembly people do that much because they don't really have any money.
Yes.
So maybe the citizens are also not doing well because for somebody who wants to be MP, he comes and because you're a delegate in his party, he gives you transport and maybe a flat screen. But now this person doesn't have a party necessarily and is going to run for assemblyman in your community like Odona. Because he hasn't come out to motivate you.
That's the word.
Do you get it? So I feel like citizens also need to be more responsible. We
Absolutely.
shouldn't just blame
No,
the
not
people
at
who
all,
are
not
running,
at
the
all.
citizens themselves.
No, I'm saying
Yeah.
that there are all these different aspects of the thing. You're asking me why it's not working.
Yeah.
So we have to look at
No, of
all
course,
the-
I'm not even saying you are
yeah.
making. I'm just pointing that out as
No,
an
the
addition.
citizens absolutely must understand. But
Yeah.
for the citizens, it's because a lot of them do not understand that if you engage these structures, it will actually deliver something for you. Because they don't see it, they don't feel it, and then if your street lights are not working in your community, it's not a central government problem.
Yeah.
It's a local government problem. If even noise making is not, you don't say that, but the government is not regulating and the people in their churches springing up all over the place, or their nightclubs in quiet
Residential
neighborhoods,
areas.
residential areas.
These are all local
These
issues.
are all local issues. Your assembly must be able to resolve those issues, and in a lot of times they can, if you engage properly. If you write the letter you're supposed to write, and you go through the process they are supposed to go through. I know somebody was telling me yesterday that they got one of these noise making entities shut down because they were in the wrong place. They didn't have the right paperwork, and they were producing noise way above the accepted decibels. So. Sometimes the things was you don't even know that you can, if you engage it properly, it will work. It will not deliver everything. It will not deliver everything because also, in terms of funding, the local assembly depends on the common fund. And you understand? You all know that a lot of the common fund is also spent centrally for whatever reason. So whatever is coming in may not even be enough. So there's that problem as well, whereby we must ensure that the common fund goes to the assembly, all of it. I mean, most of it at least.
Yeah.
Then there's the problem of income, revenue generation.
IGFs,
the
not
IGFs,
enough.
Not enough. And where it's enough, the demands are so
Yeah.
much. So we must move more and more to a point where we can even make some of these assemblies independent of central government. It's possible in the big metropolises where you have a lot of businesses, a lot of homes where you can collect these property rates and all of that. We can start like that. Let's take a couple. Let's isolate some MMDCs, the metropolitan assemblies too. Find 3 of them. Let's start trying to see if they can stand on their own and give them. You understand? Let them get all of the common fund. Let them raise the money that they can. Let them work in a professional way. Let's have the reforms and all of that, and it will deliver for the community. But in the meantime, today is the day that you go and elect your assembly member. So please, go and
no. We are voting this morning. I voted the last time round, and I will vote again today. And I think the process has been made very, very simple now, and you won't see a big queue there.
Yes.
What has NCCE been up to? Have you been doing it tours? I've been seeing stories from the regions.
Yes.
Where it's almost like your people in the regions are also telling people to go and vote.
Yes. I always tell people NCCE is not an Accra-based institution. It's highly decentralized.
Yeah.
Offices in every district. And they
are
do
people
work.
responding to the message? When your people go and talk to them about voting and
What
things.
do you mean responding?
Are they saying yes, we will vote? Are they telling you why they don't go and vote? Do they give you any feedback?
Really, it's about explaining to people why they need to go and vote, encouraging them that it's worth making that detour on a Tuesday morning, telling employers that give them time to go and vote and come back, and all of that. Of course, all these engagements result in discussions like we're having here, where people say, but what do they do for us? How do we engage them? Then it creates the opportunity for us to do the public education so people understand what they can do, what they can get out of it. So the engagement in the public education is very personal. If you see from all the articles I shared with you, it's very personal. They're standing in lorry parks, they're engaging people one-on-one in markets, they are going to different institutions, they're engaging professional bodies, associations, and all of that. So in those contexts, they are small groups, so they get to have this personal interaction and explain things properly. It's actually very effective in a place where you don't have a Citi FM or whatever. So that is going on very aggressively across the country. This year, we got some funding to do for the public education, and as you know, we paid for jingles to be played.
It was every news bulletin there was a jingle. It was interesting. Yeah, and there was even one I heard asking people to vote for women. I thought that was nice as well. I'm actually going to vote for a woman.
Why are they discriminating?
Sky, less than 10% of all the people in the assembly.
The participation is low.
Let's just encourage more. Like remember when you went to Galosota, that assembly wasn't your woman.
Gloria will do.
We were going to all the committees to mobilize to give donations, and the woman mobilized the whole town with a bell. The market was full of people. One woman with a bell. Are you saying that woman is your assemblyman? You are not in good hands.
I actually even think that. Look, I mean, we should try
and reserve some for women. Affirmative action.
I think we should take it to another level. I'm looking at the possibility of having a constitutional arrangement that says that if the presidential candidate of a party is a man, then willy-nilly
the running mate must be a woman. Something like that.
To be a woman. And where a woman is elected the presidential candidate, then we balance it with a man.
So they can also say, I like that. Then if you can even say the parties internally can also decide that for some of the seats.
Yeah.
They will reserve it.
Yes.
If there's an incumbent, I think the parties can do a lot more because the number is too low.
Yeah.
And we all know that when women lead at the local level, they are very effective.
Yeah.
Sometimes more effective than men.
The evidence
it's very clear
that they are less prone to corruption.
That is true too.
Yes.
That is very true. That one, even today, the AG said it. The Attorney General said it. Today. Yes, in the newspaper review today, Nathan, you remember the story? I think it was the Daily Guide. Caleb, help me. The Attorney General said he believes that more women in office will mean less corruption. And this is proven everywhere. It's not just, So, I don't know. I'm going to look for a woman to vote for.
Oh, yeah. So when you go look through properly, when you find a woman, vote for them.
Yeah.
Give them a shot.
I will.
Give them a shot.
And I hope that
and it's, it's more difficult. If you see a woman running, you must know that this person really has...
Yeah. This is let me read a story. No, it's true. I remember I saw the story. So, Ghanaian women less corrupt, AG, just 2 headlines. Attorney General and Minister of Justice Godfrey Dami has said women are less susceptible to corruption compared to men. Speaking at the joint, just concluded 10th session of the Conference of States Parties of United Nations Convention Against Corruption, COSP 10 in Atlanta, USA. Mr. Dami said research findings indicate that Ghanaian women are less corrupt. He cited the results of the first actual corruption survey on people's experiences in Ghana with a sample size of 15,000 respondents from across Ghana, conducted in 2021 by SRAJ and the GSS with technical assistance from UNODC. Mr. Dami said one unique feature of the survey was the findings that in Ghana, women are less susceptible to corruption than their male counterparts, and that male public officials are twice more likely to solicit bribes than their female counterparts. The reality Mr. Dami highlighted is that men are 3 times more likely to take bribes than women. And then he was speaking about power of gender equality and inclusion to combat corruption.
Yeah.
So
That's fantastic. That's a fantastic article.
But you can't vote because you vote in the
I have to carry the vote. And,
I vote in Accra, so I'll vote. But so you have to go.
I should have arranged for proxy.
Yes, you should have arranged for that.
Which I didn't.
You did not do that.
Yeah, so
have you voted?
No, I'm going.
You will vote.
Here. Yes,
You will vote.
Here. Yes,
and then they will know the results by what time? By evening.
By
It's not-
5:30.
It's not long.
Because 5 o'clock polls close. They will begin counting quickly. So it's
So
7
Bernard,
PM
it's
there's
really about ensuring that I always say that to feel the democracy, it really at the local level, that's where you feel your first interaction with the system that is called democracy, because that's where you have somebody that you have elected who's working for you, who you can make demands from, right there, as opposed to you elect somebody, the person's office in Accra, and then now you're looking for the person, you can't find the person. When they show up at the weekend, then you feel like, well, come and pay your dues because you're not here, But this assembly system is a way to push the development agenda, because a lot of the development is going to happen community by community, and where more people are interested, and it's easy to mobilize around local government because you live there, compared to trying to mobilize around
constituency
or a region or a presidency or all of that. And the interest you have is immediate. It's right there where you are. If you're going home and the street lights are off, you feel it immediately, as opposed to looking at the big picture of how many new street lights have been installed over the last 4 years, that kind of statistic, versus are my street lights working in my neighborhood? You understand? It's easier to connect to are my street lights working in my neighborhood rather than how many new street lights have been installed in the last 3 years or the last 4 years or something like that.
Yeah.
So you feel the effect of the democracy more, and you can participate more at that level. It doesn't take too much.
Yeah.
Like I said, if Richard is an assembly member, what is it going to take? He
has mobilizing power.
He can
can make
power.
calls.
He's an influential man. He's a powerful person.
He can get sponsorship.
He can bring all kinds of things to the... No, seriously. Between Richard, imagine Samens, assembly member, that would be transformational.
I'm telling you.
That would be transformational.
So you are also advocating for people who have resources and who have the experience, to show interest.
Influence.
I'm told that some of our big politicians, Kwesi Ndom, Nakufo-Addo, they all started as assembly people.
Yeah, assembly,
So there's a space for that in developing. These days, everybody wants to be MP. But I feel like starting as an assemblyman even gives you the chance to understand the community better. Then you can work your way up. We should actually even make it a requirement.
And apart from that, some people just want things to work where they live.
Yeah.
So some people's political ambition can terminate as an MC. They get their full political satisfaction there.
Without having
and
to
they are
go
able
higher.
to deliver to a community and feel that they've done a good job right at that level. You don't need to now try and go, a lot of it will terminate. It will even diffuse pressure in the political system, because a lot of people will be happy to be elected. If you are elected over a place, you yourself, you feel a stronger connection to the place.
Let me ask you another question. You notice I think the NDC and MPP are sort of encouraging people to go and vote. Some people feel like we underappreciate the role of political parties, because when it comes to elections, they do the mobilization.
Yes.
Now, because of their lack of direct involvement, here we are struggling for people to go and vote. I mean, they have their bad sides, but seriously, if the political parties were involved directly, your work will be very easy. Because people will be voting. I mean, people of course, we're voting based on different ideas. But how do we balance that?
Let me just say something before we talk about the political parties. And I feel I'm very passionate about political parties, right? But on this matter, because of the way the referendum went the last time, I have to be categorical and put it out there that as NCCE, as an institution, as myself, we are not advocating one way or the other whether we should go and vote on partisan or non-partisan basis. We have no position on that. Whatever when the decision is made, we will do the public education based on the decision that is made. Right?
Nice one.
We don't take that decision. We don't have a position on it. It's very important that I say this because it became controversial at the last attempted referendum. So with that being out of the way, let me just say that, to be honest, I think that politicians and political parties get a bad name, and not one or the other. The class of politicians, and we like to say that when the politicians are bad, and it's not your good friend, a very upstanding person wants to go into politics. Everybody say, don't do it. It's bad. It's this. It's that. So who should do it? Meanwhile, we have elected to be a multi-party democracy. I don't understand what people understand by the multi. It means there will be parties, and it means there will be people in parties. You understand? So for me, I always encourage that more good quality people should aspire to be in the political party. If you look at political parties and look at the UK political parties, look at how vibrant they are. Look at the caliber, the quality, the quantity, all of that. So if we want to move forward with the democracy, the political parties are so important as institutions. And we have to see it in that way. We shouldn't always see them as the bad guys. The politicians. Of course, whatever it is. I'm not saying that they are perfect, but the institution of political parties are key and key to the success of the democracy we are practicing. So they play such an important role. And you just talked about their mobilizing power and all that. It's very important.
I want to read something from a paper that I was reading a couple of days ago. It's a paper written by Ransford Osafo Danso in 2015, Beyond Elections, Ghana's Democracy from the Perspective of the Citizenry. And he argues on page 174 that finally, the results confirmed that even though the average Ghanaian has had a positive experience with respect to participation in the electoral process, the expectation of democracy as a system of governance went beyond their constitutionally guaranteed right to vote. The results revealed that ordinary Ghanaians are excited by the positive gains made in the electoral process since the inception of the Fourth Republic. However, they are pessimistic with respect to how governance in the intervening years have been conducted under the Fourth Republic. Lack of political accountability, unequal application of law, dwindling economic opportunity for every Ghanaian, rising economic inequality, political impunity, rising levels of corruption, and the winner-takes-all political system have all been major obstacles in the ability of the ordinary Ghanaian to access the full dividends of democratic governance under the Fourth Republic of Ghana.
Sky, that's 100% correct.
That is correct.
And citizens, so democracy is beyond voting, but voting is an important part of the process.
And citizens must understand that the democracy requires that everybody plays a role. And the citizens must play their role as well.
All right.
Play the role in holding government accountable. Play a role in ensuring that they actively participate in governance. All of these things help.
Yeah, but the question here is, if you look at all of these things that have been listed here, it will seem that the people in charge, NDC, MPP, CPP, whichever level they are playing a role in, they also need education from the NCCE. Do you do that? Do you go and sit politicians down and say that?
Oh, yes, we do.
Beyond, we have spoken to the citizens, but you are the people who are misbehaving. You are doing what you are not supposed to do. The law says that you shouldn't sell your votes. The law says that you shouldn't buy votes. The law says this and that and that. Do you do that? We don't see that. Every time citizens should go and vote. But you look at what citizens are saying here.
No, listen. There are different kinds of engagement that we do as an institution. It's not everything that is meant for public consumption.
Oh, I see.
We do engage in political parties over the period. Over the period. And some of it is public. I mean, last year I made 2 visits. I made one visit to NDC headquarters.
Okay.
NCCE, we went there when they elected, after they elected
New executives.
their new executives. We paid a visit to the both former presidents as well. And so during these engagements, we have these discussions. There are other engagements that do not even come into the public, and we do our best to do those engagements as well. So that is also being done. But it is important for citizens to organize themselves to hold the political class accountable.
We are talking to the chairperson of the NCCE. Today is voting day. Electoral Commission has announced that all arrangements are ready. Over 66,000 people vying for positions in the Assembly Unit Committees. We have a total of 18,755 contesting for Assembly member, while 47,502 for Unit Committee. And that's a total of 66,000 across 6,215 electoral areas within the 260 metropolitan municipal and district assemblies. Go out there and cast your vote and make sure you choose the right people. On the low key, we are asking you to vote for women as well. We need more women representation. Now they are less than 10%. So even at the unit committee level and also at the assembly level, there's a lot to do. It's your responsibility to find out who is standing, what they stand for, and to cast your vote. And then to be part of the process. Go for assembly meetings and take part in all the decisions that are made in respect of the assembly. So, Kathleen,
I was going to say one more thing.
Yeah.
That when you, the thing with the women electing women, when you find a woman putting themselves up for election, you must understand that this is somebody who is actually passionate about what they're doing, because the challenges, the obstacles they face are much greater than their male counterparts. So if they are able to, overcome all of that and still find themselves, put themselves on the ballot, you must give them some extra props for that, because it's really tough for women who are trying to serve in the public.
I mean, the numbers. So Shamima has helped me with some numbers in terms of the nominees putting themselves up for election.
And by the way, Shamima is the founder of the AMWA.
Yes.
So that's the African Women Media Association.
Yeah.
They have a campaign to encourage citizens to participate in the district level elections. And across the country, there's 1,106 women against 17,000 plus men. Right? And in the district assemblies, 5,413 women against 40,000 plus men. So, and the statistics are not pretty. And she's urging us to vote, but also vote for more women. So that's Shamima's campaign.
Because their road to the ballot is harder.
Yes.
Their road to the ballot is harder. So, give them a shot, give them a chance. The fact that they're willing to overcome all of that and still do it means that they really have, great plans for their communities.
I was looking at the regional breakdown percentage for women. The region with the highest percentage of women, 18.7%, is the Bono region. Incidentally, 18.7% of the nominees are women, followed by the Greater Accra region with 11.8%. And then there's a whole raft of 6%. So you have 6% as the average, because quite a number of the regions have 6%. For example, 6.3% average for Eastern, and then 6.4% average for Volta. And then you have 5.3% average for Western and Central respectively. And then you have quite a number of 4.4% for OT and Bono East. So the Bono region has 18% women, but the numbers can be much, much better.
Can I please share with them? I sent you a lot of articles about the work that our staff are doing across the country. In every district, I sent all the articles to Bernard, because a lot of times people don't know that NCCE is a decentralized organized institution, and a lot of our work is done in the district in the language of the people who live there. It's only on Citi FM that I can come and rap English. Outside of this place, we work in the local language.
So to talk to you, the people.
No, she's done it. So when you look at the list she
Talk to them
sent.
in Ghana and Kemwa.
So basically, here are the stories. We are done. So basically, if you go through the stories, you have Ashanti region, you have Keta NCC educates communities on district level elections, avoid voting on family ties, select competent people, This is NCC urges electorate. NCC Achiasi district office has been involved in education of the public. Kintampo South Municipal NCC has been speaking to people under trees about voting. Kowu East NCC has been doing a campaign on voting. There's also Afano North Directorate of Ashanti NCCE engaging communities on voting. Then there's Tano North NCCE also speaking to people about voting. Then the Deputy Ashanti Regional speaking Ada West NCCE, Tema NCCE, German South NCCE. Look, it's a lot.
Across
it's
every
a lot.
district,
It's a lot.
out there.
So your people are working.
Pushing very hard, and I want to commend the
Your
staff.
team.
My team, hardworking, the most hardworking public
Have they
servants in
renovated the
Ghana.
offices though? Because I remember a few years ago, some of the offices were in a really bad shape. Have you done any renovation?
Can we have another program to talk about our problems?
Oh, okay. I'm just asking.
Well, I mean, we've moved some of them.
Okay.
You know, the office that had a big hole in the ceiling
You've
for us,
removed
that
it.
we moved to
Uh-huh,
another
okay,
place.
okay.
But we still have a lot of problems. But today's
Today's not a day for problems.
Today's not the day. Yes.
Today's a day for voting. So go out. But some people say your songs are some way.
Oh, this one, the jingle is nice.
This is better, but there was one B. You know, the songs are a bit like, you know, go and vote, go and... Charlie, what be that?
Oh, but please play our jingle. Give us one
No,
free one.
The jingle is scheduled. It will be played.
Okay. And people should hear that the jingles are good. This jingle is very
Yeah, but there was one B. They go and vote. Charlie, that was Shiki. Captain
Thank you
Adi,
very much.
chairperson
Thank
of
you.
NCC, coming in. Please, let's go and vote. Your vote is your power.